All right. So, oh, we got darkness. That's all right. Don't worry. Hope I can find my way through here. All right, here we go. Starting to pull up. Give me just a second to get this pulled up. Now, this is your budget, okay? So you make the decisions. You get to make the decisions about how you want to spend your money. That's your choice, all right? But I hope that what you will do is you're looking at different things. So here's the budget, and we've had that from the very beginning, okay? And I think I'm going to come up to the front and kind of show you a couple things, all right? So here's my budget. Now, what I chose, remember, was school teacher. So I chose high school teacher, right? And so I'm saying, all right, my job is high school teacher. Now, a lot of these things, if you've been doing your Google Sheets, you should be able to do just fine. But here's my income, right? So my annual gross salary is that. Now that was based on that percentage that I said, hey, you know, your gross salary, when we did the career cluster inventory and you chose a job, you know, you based that salary on whatever it said on your career cluster inventory, okay? Now, I took my annual gross, I divided it by 12, that gives me my monthly gross income. Okay, and this is my taxable income. What we'll be using that for, and again, some of this I feel like we've done, you should have done. Okay, is the first thing I got to do is I got to figure out how much of my paycheck is going to go to taxes. So that's the first thing I want you to include in your budget is federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare. Okay, now when I calculate federal and state taxes, I'm going to calculate it based off my taxable income, okay? But it's going to come from my gross income, okay? The reason why, this is the amount you're being taxed on, okay? This is the actual amount that you're getting paid, right? So when I figured out my federal taxes, okay, I'm figuring it out all annually first, and then I'm dividing that number by 12 to get my monthly, all right? But I figured out my federal taxes by taking the formula. Again, you should have already done this. Taking that formula of the federal income tax brackets. Are you single? Are you married? Filing jointly? You know what's your filing status, and then you calculate that. State taxes in Utah, it's a flat tax of 5%. Remember, Social Security is a flat tax. Now, Social Security and Medicare, you're going to figure off of your gross, not your taxable. So, federal and state, you figure off your taxable income. Okay, Social Security and Medicare, you figure off of your gross income. Okay, so in federal taxes, I'm going to be paying $3,379. So I subtract that from my gross income. That gives me that. Okay, state income taxes, that's what I paid. Subtract it from that, that's where I get that, okay? Social Security, okay? I subtract that from that, and that's where I get that, okay? My Medicare, I take that minus what my total was for Medicare, and I get that. Does that make sense? Now, from here moving forward, okay, it's going to be your personal choices. What do you want to spend your money on, okay? So, charity, do you want to donate to charity? That's great. You know, if you say, you know what, I want to do 10% of my gross income and I want to donate that to charity, that's great. I did 10%, I did $4,930. Okay, so I take my balance here, minus that, there's my new balance, okay? So I made the decision in my budget here to take 10% and donate it to charity, okay? Retirement, okay? And if you want to break down, remember we've talked about the reasons why you save, all right? So we've talked about an emergency fund. We've talked about major purchases. We've talked about, retirement and building wealth. And so if I want to say, you know what, I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to put it towards retirement, and I did 10%. I said, I'm going to take 10% every paycheck, put it towards retirement. And so that's 10% of my gross. So I take that minus that, and I got that, right? Now car loan. See, now car loan, and I'm going to go back to my computer because I'm going to start adding some things here. Okay, but my car loan, again, this is an activity that you should have done already, right? So if I look at my tabs down here, here's my car loan, right? Now, what did I say my payment was? Well, there's what my payment was right there on this car that I said that I bought, right? So now if I go back over to my budget, okay, and I look, oh, there's my car loan, and there's the payment, and there's the monthly payment for it right there, okay? And I have to be honest, my eyes are so stinking not very good that I can't see if that even lines up. That number right there, 3,000? Yeah, okay. So it does line up, as it should. Okay, and there's my 3,000 there, right? Okay, now, I got a house payment, so let's put the house payment here. All right, now, remember I had you do a house activity, right? So if you go to, let's see, one of my tabs down here, there it is, my mortgage right here. Okay, this is a house that I went and I found. This is a house that I want to buy right here, right? And so here's my payment on it. Now that's an annual payment, all right? Now I'm going to come, a little bit closer. So my payment annually on the house is $26,568, and so 26,568. So if I put right here 26,568, look at what that just did. And this is where you have to say, oh man, okay, I got to make some tough decisions here. I only had 27,000 left. Okay, so if I'm making payments of $26,000 a year, okay, on my mortgage, I can't afford that home because I'm going to now be $1,000 left, and I still haven't bought food. I haven't paid for insurance, right? Did I go to college? Hopefully you made a plan so you don't have student loans, but do you have student loans here? Okay, and so that's where you have to make your budget work. It has to balance, right? That's what a budget is. A budget says. So you may have to say, all right, I'm not gonna pay that much on my home. I got to buy a smaller home. So, and the whole point of this activity is to kind of give you an idea, when you're an adult, you have to budget, you have to you have to have a plan of how you're going to spend your money, right? So if that scenario were my scenario, I would say that's too expensive of a home. I just graduated from college. I can't buy that home, okay? So I've got to buy a cheaper home. So I might have to go look at some options to buy a cheaper home, okay? Here's what I want you to do with insurance. I want you to put insurance in your budget, okay? And I had you do the activity where you went and bought insurance, all right? And I'll go through this budget page and I'll finish it. It looks like some of you guys are in here with me, so it's good to see you. Here's insurance right here. and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go health insurance. I'm going to go auto insurance. I'm going to go life insurance. Okay, and well, let's say that the homeowner's insurance was included in that house payment. Okay, even though that was just a principal and interest payment, that's okay for now. Most of the time, that's going to be included. Now, if we look at our insurance page, okay, and we look at what our premium was for, health insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, okay, and we put those numbers in, are we going to have enough money to be able to do that, okay? Now, health insurance, here's what I'm going to allow you to do for health insurance, okay? For health insurance, for your monthly premium, okay, I want you to put it in the budget, but I will not make you subtract it from your balance, because I'm going to say that your employer's paying for it, okay? So you work for a business who is providing insurance for you, okay? If you had to pay that every single month, again, that's a big chunk, right? It's going to take out of your budget, okay? Auto insurance, I want you to include it, okay? Life insurance, I want you to include it, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to list for you guys. I'm going to turn this around, look and see if there's any questions that you guys are having right now. I'm going to list for you on your budgets. Okay, we're on my sample one that I've done for you. I'm going to list a whole bunch of things that could be included in your budget. Okay, but things like food, things like entertainment, going out to the movies, going out to dinner. You could have eating out as a separate category. Are you going to have a vacation fund if you're going to go on vacations? Are you going to save money for it? Are you going to put money away for it? Are the kids, if you have kids, are you going to have a budget for the kids' activity? Are you going to save for the kids' college? Are you going to help pay for their college? Are you going to have them involved in activities? I've probably complained to you guys about dance tuition before, right? So so in that budget, we'll list a whole bunch of things. Now, in your budgets, what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look to see that you've spent all your money. I want it to zero out, okay? And if you get to the end and you have money left over, then put it in savings, or put it into an emergency fund, or put it into an investment account that you call building wealth, or put it towards zero out your budget, okay? So it'll be zero at the end. But the other thing that I want you to do, okay, this is going to be an important part of this activity that I want you to make sure that you do. I want you to make sure that you. Sorry, that camera. I'm wondering if my head's in that view, but that's all right. I want you to. I want you to talk with your parents about your budget. I want you to just have them look at it with you, have them, and have that just some feedback, okay? And I want because they're going to kind of give you an idea of whether they think your budget is realistic or not, okay? I don't think this is very realistic. I don't know that you do this or do that, or I don't know if food, and they're going to maybe have to give you an idea of food, utilities, things like that, okay? This is going to be your final Google Sheet activity, okay? And it's going to be just filling out that budget, okay? You are creating a budget based on the job that you chose, okay? So, questions from my students about about what I want you to do with your budget page? No? Okay. All right. So, Albert, has it helped you improve? Having a budget, if that's what your question is about, having a budget, I think, is critical to improving your wealth. It's a plan of how you're going to spend your money. Okay, and if you don't have a plan, it's just going to go. All right. So, are we making a new budget sheet, or are we? You are not making a new one. The Google Sheets that you have already shared with me, and that little page that has budget that we've done a couple of things with already, that's the page I want you to use. Okay, there's only going to be one sheet in that Google Doc, or that Google sheet, whatever, the whole document, right? And then we've got different sheets down there at the bottom. One of them is budget. Okay, and so if you have my sample pulled up, which I can see a handful of you do, okay, there's tabs at the bottom, and there's a tab that says taxes, and a tab that says stocks, and a tab that says car loan, and a tab that says career, and a tab that says insurance. Okay, and so those and one the items that you guys should have. Okay, there's a couple that you've got to have. You got to have taxes. Okay, after taxes, I mean, you got to have somewhere to live. All right, so you need to have, there needs to be some kind of housing expense. All right, but otherwise, it's going to be your choice. This is your budget. You get to choose to spend your money however you want to choose to spend your money. Okay, but part of the reason why I want you to talk with a parent to have them look at your budget is how realistic, knowing who you are, knowing what your likes, dislikes are, how good is that budget? Okay? So, how long have I been using a budget sheet? Man, through adult life. Okay? I just do it. I mean, it used to be an Excel document, and now it's a Google sheet. And it's nothing too complicated, too sophisticated. I just simply, make sure that I plan out how I spend my money. Okay. All right, students, do you guys have any other questions for me? Okay. Let me remind you, I am telling you, my school email account is getting slammed. It's getting slammed with all kinds of junk. Okay, I've got to go through and clean some stuff up. But a lot of the junk is stuff that, sorry, but like the faculty sends out. And but anyways, so and I have not. I'm going to admit that I have not been good at replying to messages there. But if you send emails to mrcolekelly@gmail.com, that is one that is not flooded with a bunch of junk, and I get to those quickly. And if I get an email from a student at that email account, I can promise you will get a reply. So if you are trying to ask me questions, or if you have any things that you need clarification on, send me an email at mrcolekelly@gmail.com. Okay, and I will be sure to get back with you. If you're sending emails to my school email account, I will get to them. Okay, I'm just not as timely with those. Okay. So any other questions on what I want you to do with your budget? Thanks, Albert. Appreciate that, man. No more questions? Albert, where are you joining us from? Where are you from? Albert TV. Just so you know, Albert, anybody else that may be joining us right now, I'm a school teacher. I been having my students come on and join me live. Texas, right on. In Texas, this class that I teach is called Financial Literacy. I'm going to turn this off. It's called Financial Literacy, and